welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, I showed you how I did the red builder gel in a pot on my left hand. And I showed you the construction gel in the bottle as well. And now we're going to use that and do that on my right hand. It is a really beautiful, like blood red jelly, I guess you could say. Um, it's like a juicy strawberry type color. I'm also going to be using the clear rubber base again, and I'm going to be using the bonder again. I'm going to do the same beginning steps as I did in my last video, so I kind of sped it up a little bit. I went ahead and applied my tips with the gel peel base. If you go back a few videos, you will see me applying tips with the gel peel base, and at the end of that video, I do a full removal. On the base of my nails, on top of my natural nails underneath the extensions, I did a bonder, the same one I'm using now. A primer, I used the Multifunction Gel 09, which is my favorite. It is an 8-in-1 gel, so it's kind of like a builder gel as well, but it's in the nude color, and I always go back to using that one on my natural nails. And then I have the Glossy Shield Top Coat, and then I have the gel peel base, which I used to adhere the tips. I found that that works out really well. It protects my natural nails from any like stress or anything like that because I do tend to smack my nails a lot. I'm just really rough with my hands, and I found that when I'm not wearing that base layer on my natural nails, I will get like stress bruises or stress fractures and stuff on my natural nails underneath the extensions because sometimes I'm just really rough. So I really like to keep that layer on my natural nails and allow them to grow just a little bit and just remain strong if nothing else. So that is underneath the tips, and I have the tips on top, and I'm going to show you how I apply the builder gel or the construction gel on top. This video is going to be using my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to be using the construction gel in the bottle. Now, I used to be so intimidated to use my non-dominant hand to do literally anything, but I've gotten better over the years, and I feel like showing y'all is just kind of my way of growth because I used to not even be able to do it on camera. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it. I went ahead and I applied the rubber base off camera. You can use a regular base coat if you'd like. I just always use a rubber base so that I have like that extra strength and just that extra adherence. So now I'm going to be using this red builder gel. I always keep a liner brush off to the side just to help with the cuticle area and the side walls and making sure that there's no bulking and bulging at the tip area. So I keep a liner brush. The liner brush is also from Bling Galleria. Everything is from Bling Galleria, and you can use code Erica Nails It for 20% off. My code used to be Erica10 for just 10% off, but there is a new code for 20% off. Check the description box if you're interested in shopping there. So moving on, just had to throw that in there just so you're aware that there are codes in the description box. And my one for Bling Galleria increased a little bit. So I also like to keep an orange wood stick handy, just in case there's any spill off. I also like to keep a little palette nearby, and when I'm doing just the builder gel, I'll just use my really small palette, just a small like throwaway palette. But generally, I'll use one of my favorite, either Pretty Fingers by Robin palettes, or I have one from Casanova Nails. But I did a slip layer to start with, and then I took a bead and I put it kind of in the center of my natural nail, a little bit away, I'd say about a quarter of an inch away from my cuticle, because if you put it too close, the gel is going to run because it's a self-leveling gel, and it self-levels very well. Like, it is not super runny, but it is not super thick as well, and it's very beginner friendly. Like, it levels very well, it flows in, especially if you do that slip layer. Anywhere that that slip layer has been is where the gel will flow, and it works really, really easily. Like, I'm doing this with my non-dominant hand, and I'm still a little bit rusty because I don't generally do builder gel on my dominant hand, but I wanted to test myself and kind of see where I was at. It's been a good bit of time since I have done it like this, but when you're working with your non-dominant hand, just go slow and try to just be more precise and only do one nail at a time. Even if you can do more with your dominant hand, I only suggest doing one nail at a time using your um, two fingers like I'm doing to brace the hand as well. I've found helps, like we want to stabilize as much as we can. So I just fill in the cuticle area with the brush and make sure that everything looks really good. And once I'm satisfied with the application, like sometimes I go back multiple times and just make sure that I have enough on there to make sure everything looks really good. But this is a jelly builder gel. I feel like this is perfect for Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day. It's a red jelly and it'll look really good because you could even just chrome this and it will chrome really well. You could leave it just wearing it just like this. I am personally going to throw a cat eye on top of it at a later date, but I'm just wearing this for a few days just because I wanted to see both of the colors and I wanted to show y'all the difference in application and just the difference in the colors. This one is your true deep red, but it's a deep jelly red. I just think it's really pretty. Once I'm happy with it, I do give it a flash cure. I do think that having a handheld flash cure lamp is very important when doing builder gel or really just doing any gel designs, if I'm being honest. I keep my flash cure lamp on my desk. It is one of like the essentials I pull out when I'm doing any kind of nail art or builder gel or base coats, rubber base, anything like that. I'll give it a flash cure once I'm done with that nail just to kind of lock it in place so that it's not going to be moving all around. Now, I wanted to throw this in the last video, but I forgot. I am a DIY girl. I've learned everything on my own. I am not a nail tech. So some of my precision and my techniques and stuff may be off. They may not be personal, like perfectly correct or like what you do personally, but I just do what works for me. I use products that work for me. I have not personally had a reaction to any gels because I am very careful when I use them and I try my best to never get them on my skin. And if I do, I get it off immediately. But I've also tried to use safe gels most of my DIY uh, time. I use dip powders. I started there, which was I still use them, as you guys see in some of my videos. I still use them. I'm just more of like a gel girly lately, but just please make sure that you are doing your research, making informed decisions, and learning as much as you can because I have noticed contact dermatitis has like become an all-time high, and I feel so sad for those people because it's not just messing with doing your nails, it's messing with surgical procedures and stuff like that. So just really be careful and test your products out and do your research and get your education and stuff like that. So just I wanted to throw that out there. This is what works for me, and I am a DIY girl. I only do close friends and family's nails right now. I do my daughter's nails, both of them, and that's about it. I have done press-ons for a few people, but yeah, I don't do other people's nails all the time. Not yet, anyway. I do plan on going and getting licensed because that's something that I find to a creative outlet per se. But yeah, back to what we are doing. Slip layer, make sure that you are precise with your slip layer and you are not flooding your cuticles because I found that if you flood your cuticles on the slip layer, then the builder gel will just flow into your cuticles quicker and just be a lot more full. So just definitely pay attention to your slip layer, and then your glob should be placed more in the middle of the natural nail. You don't want it to be really far near the cuticle because then it can flow a lot faster that way. So just kind of pay attention where you're putting the larger bead down as well. Oh my gosh, these mosquitoes are getting me again. But yeah, it's relatively easy once you get the hang of it. Not everybody starts off very good. I sure didn't start off very good. I dreaded doing my dominant hand always. So, which is why I went to doing full cover tips. And these particular ones are a flatter shape and they're more flimsy. So, if I don't do some kind of builder gel or rubber base or something strong, like a strong structure to them, then they will bend. And there's nothing worse than having a nail that bends, even without breaking. Like, that is super annoying because then it has that crease and it still hurts. But I found that these particular tips, even though I love them, they just need a some kind of a structure layer on top in order to stay really sturdy and to be able to like rock with the life that I live. Being very hard on my nails. I have 4 kids. I am very busy. I am just all in it. So between homeschooling, cooking, cleaning, having the 4 kids, 2 of them being under the age of 7, I just really feel like I have a lot going on and my nails need to be able to hold up. I could just wear short nails, but I don't like to. So yeah, I've been wearing nails this long since I was pregnant with my 5-year-old now. And I, even when they were born, even when she was born, I just still kept long nails. I just wouldn't, I switched shapes and I wouldn't make them as sharp. I would do more almonds, but I love long nails and I can function with them. I can do everything I need to do. And with this shape, I can even pick my credit card up off the ground if it falls. So there is that too. But I mean, I like to have them long, so I know that I need that structure. So if your nail tips are bending, try adding some structure to them. Also, this is good for the nail tips like the half cover tips. You can apply the half cover tip and then do this technique, and it will blend just as good. You can also use dual forms, though I would be very cautious when using a thinner viscosity gel using dual forms because they can possibly seep and stuff. You can use paper forms as well. So, and they build like a really strong structure. I have seen a couple of the other Bling girls use this as its own structure and not on top of a full coverage tip. But making sure you're cleaning it off your skin is super important. I do dip my orange wood stick in acetone or alcohol before I just keep repeatedly going around my skin. So, in case you're wondering, it is off to the side. I used to put the dish in view, but it's just too much stuff close, too close, and I end up knocking it over. So, it's off to the side. So, I do dip the orange wood stick in the acetone or isopropyl alcohol. Usually use a mix of 70, 71, 74, and 91. I don't remember what it says on the bottle, but I use a mixture. I have this one specifically set aside that I use for when I do builder gel or getting gel off my skin versus cleaning up anything else. So yeah, that was a lot. That was a long ramble, but this video is not very long because it doesn't take me very long to do it. Like, this is almost in real time. I think I put it on 1.3 because I'm very slow, but I take my time and it really doesn't take that long to do it. And if you are very precise with your application, the filing is minimal. Like, I had very minimal filing. I file the sidewall to shape it up a little bit. I file the cuticle area just to make sure it's tucked in there nicely. And I go and I use a super skinny file. I'll show you here when I get to filing. And then I use a sponge file. I use a 100/180 sponge buffered nail file thing, and I just go over the top because I like it to be really smooth. But one thing to worry about with this builder gel is that since it is like transparent-ish, I'd say it's almost transparent. It's translucent, but it's kind of syrupy. But you can get bubbles, and the bubbles are noticeable. So you really want to be careful with getting bubbles into the gel because they are noticeable more so in this type of gel and this type of construction gel just because of the way that it shows. Like, you can see bubbles really good and clear when people do it, but just that's the only thing I would say really watch out for is the bubbles that you could get, and then flooding, of course. But this is how I do it. This is how I do my builder gel over top of my tips. And I'm also using my non-dominant hand, so I don't know if that's going to help anybody out. Just kind of showing how I do it if that's not the hand that I usually do everything with. So I'm just hoping that it helps somebody out. Also, this type of construction gel is to like not be scared to use it. Don't be scared to try something out. You know, you might like it, you might not. If you don't, you can just take it off. And then with the peel base underneath, I can just pop the color off if I don't end up liking it. I'm probably going to leave it on and just put like a red cat eye over top, like I had said, or a red gel or something on top, and just kind of leave it on for about a week. And then I will pop the tips off when there's a grow out and go on to my next set. So everything is cured. And here's the difference in the color. One is a little bit more transparent than the other one. And that's the color. The one on my left hand is more pink as well. But like I was saying, this color is like the perfect, like just juicy red. I went ahead and put the top coat on so that I can go ahead and file. I'm going to use these two files. Like I was saying, these are the two files that I like to use when I'm filing. And I actually do leave my filing in this video. I just speed it up a little bit for you. I use the less number grit side of this one. I don't remember what these are, but I think they're 100, 180. I use the 180 side. And I'll just go around my cuticle very gently just to make sure that the builder gel is all good. I'll go underneath the tip just to make sure that the tip isn't like having a funky shape underneath at the tip. I go just around it until I'm comfortable with how the shape itself looks. But since I did such a good job with the application, I don't, and the tip already has its structure and it already has its shape, I just go make sure it's like precise because I'm very anal about that. And then once I've got it where I like it, then I will go in with the sponge file on top and just smooth everything out, make sure everything's flush at the cuticle line. I use the sponge file and I actually go around the tips of the nails because they were very sharp still. And a sharp stiletto is dangerous. Like, you can draw blood and you will draw blood. I have a few times, even on myself. So just be careful with the stilettos. And then when they're reinforced with the builder gel, they're that much stronger and sharper and whatnot. So I do fix, yeah, it was a little bit too much. So I sometimes will file it. If it's really sharp, I'll file it down a little bit with this file, but I take the sponge file and I'll just go around and just kind of shape everything up, make sure everything's good, buff it out, even though you really don't have to. I just could have gotten away without that, but I just wanted to leave all the filing on there just to kind of show like what I mean by like touch up filing. Since I already top coated, after I did this, I could have technically just left it, but I was getting really anal about being flush to the cuticle and I don't know. If I skip a step, I feel like it's just the OCD in me to just, I have to do steps a certain way in order to be comfortable with the end result. I don't know. It's just how I do it. If I skip a step, I feel like it's not right and it will bother me. And there was a little bit of hump on that middle finger at the tip, and I just was like not feeling it. And then a little bit on the pinky, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and fix it because it's gonna bother me if I don't. So I went ahead and fixed that off camera. But like I was saying, I go ahead and I go in with the sponge and I make sure that the underside is done. I make sure that the tip is not quite as sharp, which is what I'm doing now. Just doesn't have to be a lot. I don't want to completely dull it to make it look like almondy, but like I go in on the other hand as well because that hand was still really sharp and just like dull the tip out just a little bit. And then once I'm done with that, I file the rest of it off camera just because I showed you enough filing. So here's everything, and even they look good matte. This is what they would look like matted. So yeah, if you like matte nails, that would look so good for like some, like with some glossy design, 3D design on top of that. So good. But here's everything all finished. I went ahead and put the top coat on. It is all cured 100%. Everything's finished. It's giving like candy apple nails. So here's the difference in the last two builder gel videos. The one hand is the builder gel in the pot, and the other one is the construction gel in the red as well. Both are the Ultraline Super Hypoallergenic, very allergy person friendly. So definitely give the Ultraline a try if you are interested in checking out some gels. I have some pictures outside in the sun for you as always. Here's what it looks like out in the sun. Thank you guys for hanging out. Consider subscribing, give this video a like, and I will catch you on the next video.